One of the biggest issues that I've faced in the music business so far, and probably getting to the music business so far, has been not fitting into the prototype of what an artist is supposed to look like. If we go back a few decades, even a few centuries, this photo just depicts basically what women looked like, how they were portrayed in paintings. They were a symbol for fertility and beauty and wealth. Fast forward a few hundred years, and now this is what the image of fertility. What happened? I, for one, want to know. It's transited. According to a study conducted by Yale, over the last decade only, 66% was the number of increase in prejudice against people who are overweight. The thing is, it's not just about people who are overweight. It's people who just are not, or too skinny, or too big, their nose is too big. It's just the whole facade just became so important. But weight being my problem was one that kept me away from music for a very long time for reasons of the sort, prejudice. There's another study that even said that in some cases, it never happened to me. I've been fortunate to have an amazing career in the corporate world, but some employers would rather hire someone with less qualifications, but so long as they looked the part. So this is the society that I've grown up in. This is just a little sculpture that depicts this problem that we face today. This is an anorexic woman looking at an overweight woman, and they're standing rioting against being judged on their outer appearance. This very much symbolizes it for me. In the music world, it's no different. All the pop divas are telling us that in order for you to sell records, you have to flaunt it. You know, I mean, from the big ones, Madonna, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Miley, and even in the Arab world. These are two celebrities from I'm not judging anyone. I'm saying if you're beautiful, of course, flaunt it, but it should not be your ticket, or your only ticket for that matter. You can look anything, but you have the right to go in and sing and be an artist and write, do whatever you want. This should not be a block. And it should not be the only way to measure an artist based on what they look like. I was born weightless. And I was stunning. Please, look at that. That was a time where I didn't know that outer appearance was so important at all, actually. And I remember the first time I realized that, wait a minute, you know, the outer appearance is important. I was about maybe 5 years old, and there was this woman talking to my mother, and she was telling her, you know, Salwa, my mother's name is Salwa. Salwa, why are you letting your daughter become so big? And I was like, hello, I'm here. She's talking about me as if I wasn't even there. And that's when it sort of triggered. I was like, okay, so this is important, that she's making such an important note to my mother. And that's when I found music. I started hiding in corners in the house and singing and memorizing songs by myself. It was my refuge. This was a place where appearance did not matter. Eventually, growing up, you get into the social scene. Everyone's, you know, trying to fight the social battle. The weight thing came back in. And that's where I learned that in order to get into a circle, I would have to be smarter, I would have to work at it, I have to be funny, I have to have a talent. And I started, it was like an under construction scenario on the inside. I completely went in and I worked on myself. And I didn't let it push me away. It didn't, I mean, it hurt. But I didn't let it push me away to the point where I'd become an outcast. I insisted on being in the scene, and I did whatever it takes. I took it as a challenge. I came to a point in my life where I turned my back away from music because I thought that I didn't fit the part. That for me to be a big singer someday, I would have to look a certain way, you know, fit the stereotype. And that pushed me away for a very long time. And I went into the corporate world, spent a very long time in there, about 20 years. I started when I was 5, by the way. So I went into the corporate world, and I started carving my personality and carving myself and earning credits, because confidence is built. That's the great thing about it, is you can earn your confidence. You're not born with it. So I acquired it day after achieving goal after goal. But somehow, there was a void. I wasn't entirely happy. There was, okay, I was doing well, I was getting raises and promotions and you name it. But there was a gap. I was so unhappy somewhere. I hadn't sang a note in like 8 years. And so whenever I'd start singing again, I'd tear up. I couldn't finish a sentence, like one line, and I'd start crying. Because for me, music was this release. That was a place where, you know, it was the most organic place for me to be, the most natural place. And I started searching for myself again. You know how everyone goes through their life and they're like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do with my life? And I did that. I went on a quest. And I went on this quest, mind you, with, this is just a picture of when I was 9, first stage appearance. I had 2 kids. I had a career. I was older, not old. I don't think you're ever really old. I was older, and that's where my quest began. I was so desperate to find out what am I going to do with my life that I started a blog called Finding My Venus. It was my quest to tap into my inner strengths and fulfill my full potential, because I knew there was something that I was supposed to do. I looked at everything, opening restaurants, opening gyms, opening a business of any kind of sort, but I did not even consider music. That never crossed my mind, because music was this place that I couldn't thrive. At least so I thought. So I took it as a challenge again. I kept searching and searching. And I went back to this little film. When I was a kid, I watched this film called Katie. I don't know if anyone's seen it. Disney never did a remake of it, but I think it's the most philosophical cartoon film of all time. They should have called her Katie the Guru. It was about this caterpillar who was trying to find herself. And she kept searching. She left, you know, her clan of caterpillars, and she tried to hang out with the bees, with the frogs, with all sorts of animals, trying to find herself. And at the end of the film, she found that herself was really in herself. And that's when she transformed into a butterfly. The process, I mean, I say it in a few seconds, but for a little kid watching this, it was so transformational. And it only made sense later in my life. I did try everything. And really, what I needed to do was right there all along. I just needed to be the singer, the artist that was within. Listen to the caterpillar. So I became Rouba, the artist. I dug back in there and I put in some new roots. And I realized that if I don't sing, I'm not myself. And I built up the confidence that I needed to actually stand up and sing in front of an audience, no matter how big it was. One of them was 60,000 people. I almost fainted before I got on stage, minus that part. But it's home. It's home. This is where I've been meaning to be since I was 5. I only just realized it now. I took inspiration from not Madonna and the likes. I mean, they were interesting entertainers. But I looked into people like Nina Simone, Oprah, Kulthum, Ella Fitzgerald. These were all beautiful women because they made their mark in the music business or in the TV business or whatever business they went into. They made it out of their own merit because they embraced themselves as they were, not because of what they looked like. It was based purely on merit. That's where I fit in. Along the way, of course, I put my makeup on and I like to, you know, do my nails and do all of that. That's because it's self-love. It's not to gain the attention of anyone. It's just to feel good, uplifting, you know, like spending the day at the spa. One other element that added so much depth to what I'm doing is, you know, fighting for the causes that matter. A few weeks ago, I took to the stage with this little kid called Lawrence. This guy has autism, and he's had autism since he was 3. And I had to meet him for several weeks before the concert because I needed to, you know, have him become more familiar with me and get used to me so that when we're on stage, he's comfortable. And the first time I met him, he was sitting on the couch, completely introverted. And then magically, he went from complete introversion to singing. He sang, and it was like this other person came into the room. He was strong, charismatic, courageous. He was amazing. And it was a time where I saw how amazing and magical music could be. Again, affirming that I was on the right track. Standing on that stage with him felt so good. And that's what I want to do with my music. It's not just about doing concerts and, you know, having your fans come in and you signing autographs. No, I want to use this light to do something more positive. And I know that it doesn't matter where I'm going, what I dress up in. I mean, we were joking about me coming up on the stage with some spandex and all of that, but that's, you know, all jokes aside, it's about using it to send positive messages, to encourage others to embrace whatever passion it is that they have. That life it's too short. You need to find out what makes you happy and follow it, no matter what society tells you or does not tell you. I found weight to be like a filtering system. It clears out the people in your life. You only get the people who really love you to stand by you. The people who've come into my life and who are still in my... I've had amazing friendships, and this is probably what's kept me afloat all these years. And it's that filtering system. In my life, everything is genuine. There's no room for wishy-washy masquerade stuff. It's real. That's what I've taken from it. This is me on stage. I feel so alive. Can you see the light and the glow? It looks like something miraculous is happening. That's the joy of doing what you love. That's the joy of it. I'm going to show you just a small video, very short, just about a highlight of the things I've been doing lately, ever since I discovered myself again. I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
معنا بالاستوديو روبا زيدان.
روبا زيدان.
I'm more sensitive than I thought I was, and I hide underneath this shell that I thought would keep. Come back, Valerie. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? I could go and I'm lonely. I'm crazy every moment. I'm going to invite my friend Elliot up here. I'm going to sing a song from my album, the album called Mama's Back. This is actually the song that got this album together. It's called Best of You, and it talks about overcoming pain and taking it as a learning curve and, you know, rising above it. It pretty much narrows who I am today. I hope you enjoy it. Let me tell you about the miracle that knocked me down, then raised me back up to a higher ground. See, life's been great to me, I can't complain. I stood my ground and dodged away, 'cause I'm a mother, I'm a fighter, I'm a sister, a friend and achiever, and I've got a little smile, a little game, a little voice, a little tug. Mama's back, and as for you, I got the best of you. Let me tell you about the woman who cried nights in vain, then raised herself up and is back in the game. See, it's he who pushes me. I taste a deeper love every day, 'cause I'm a mother, I'm a fighter, I'm a sister, a friend and achiever, and I've got a little smile, a little game, a little voice, a little tug. Mama's back, and as for you, I got the best of you. I refuse to fall. I choose to draw strength from my pain. So I rise, yes I rise, with all of me, yeah I rise. I refuse to fall, I choose to learn from my pain. So I rise, yes I rise, yes I rise, yeah, yeah. I'm a mother, I'm a fighter, sister, friend and achiever, and I've got a little smile, a little game, a little voice, a little tug, mama's back. And as for you, I got the best of you. Mama's back, mama, she's back. Oh yes, she's back, she's here, she's gonna stay.